Hello friends, so today we are going to view the Great King Hunt checkmating game played between Hoffman and Petroff. So Petroff is one of the fathers of modern chess, and Petroff defense is named after him. So the Petroff defense starts with the move e4, e5, knight to f3, and then the move knight to f6. But in this game, Petrov decided to go with the move knight to c6. Then we have bishop to c4, bishop to c5, and c3 played by white. Here, black has option to go to the b6 square with the bishop and later on play the move queen to e7 to have a solid structure. But black player decides to go with the move knight to f6, which is also a good move. Then we have a d4 that is striking up into the center, followed by exchange, e takes d4, and then white has the option either to recapture with the pawn and gain a control over the center or to make a e5 move. The white player makes the weaker move, that is the e5 move, because taking the pawn at d4 back is stronger and it gains positional advantage to the white. But after the move e5, basically black has options to play knight to g4, knight to e4, as well as d5 as one of the best move counter attacking the opponent. In this case, black decides to go with the move knight to e4, trying to attack on the weakened f2 square. So here, white decides to attack on this knight because it's sitting at a very stronger square. Black decides to sacrifice the knight to have the white king unsafe. So then we have capture on the c3, and check is given to the king. So king has option to go to f1 or come to g3. So in this case f1 is also good, but then white goes into a defensive mode. Hence white player decides to go with the move knight to g3. So here in this case, black decides to exchange another pawn. So now we can see that black has three pawns in exchange of a knight, but at the same time king is outside his territory, so black has some options to attack on the white king. So he decides to go with the move knight to e7, trying to have his pieces coordinated, and then knight to g5 played by white to attack similarly on f7 square, like black had attacked on f2 square. So here there are two main variations. The tempting variation is playing knight to f5 and trying to get the checkmating possibilities, but somehow it won't work because after knight to f4, bishop to e3, and knight is captured. Then somehow, if you see, after this move queen to f3, there is not any possibility of mating the white king. That's the reason knight to d5 works over here instead of the knight to f5 move. So we have to calculate these positions before making any conclusions while playing any chess game. So here black player basically calculates that he's not able to checkmate the king, hence he goes with the move knight to d5, and then the sacrifice is played by the white player in order to counter attack. So this is a very exclamatory move, like to castle at this position. If black decides to capture or play any other defensive move, then there is a lot of attack coming up. So black decides to castle and avoid all the mating possibilities. So after that, the queen is hanging over here, but black decides that he can go there and checkmate the white king. So if you can see this calculation, you can pause the video and see if you can find a mating pattern over here. Okay, so congrats if you have found a checkmating pattern over here. But while making this castling move, what black has achieved is he has gained this open f file, and this diagonal is already blocked. So after the move, knight takes on d8. White basically attacks with the bishop to f3, bishop to f2, and giving check to the king. King can go to h3, and then we have a d6 check. So all the black pieces are now trying to attack on white king. e6 move is played over here because, say, if he plays g4, then we have knight to f4 as a checkmate. So in view of that, white plays the move d6, sorry, e6, and then we have knight to f4 anyway, king to g4, trying to escape from the mating. But then after knight to e6, you can see that this knight has to recapture, and after bishop check, king has only place left is knight to g5, then rook to f5 check, followed by king to g4, then h5, king to h3, and rook f3 double check and checkmate. So if you see that the white king is actually exposed to a lot of black pieces after this queen sacrifice. So one after one you can see that first bishop attacked the king, later on the another bishop came into the party, and then we have this knight check. So here we have a variation of g3 in which white can basically try to control this f4 and h4 squares, but simply those also couldn't work because you can see that if the king goes to h4 or g4, this rook f6 check, discovered check, followed by rook to h4, and then rook to f4 check. Because of this pin is eventually going to have the same mating pattern with knight to e6 check, then king h5, then g6, king to h6, rook to h4, g takes h4, and then bishop to e3 check mate. So this particular move, knight to e6, is a classic example of how pieces can coordinate with each other in chess and have a checkmate thing. So thanks a lot for watching this video, and the thing which we can learn from this is that whenever we are venturing out with our king, even if queen is not on the board, there are possibilities of having checkmate, and you have to actually go there and calculate all the stuff. Like, say, at this point, after the pawn is captured on f7, it was a very important decision to castle and sacrifice the queen instead of playing any other defensive move or going with the move knight to f7, because most of the players will capture the knight on f7 and then land up in trouble with some attacking moves by their opponents. So it was very instructive play how we can capitalize on attacking the opponent's king when he's exposed. See you soon in next videos. Thanks a lot for viewing this. Please do like and subscribe.